In New Hampshire tonight, 7 GOP candidates will face off in Manchester. Among those in the mix, former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, who joins us again this morning. Governor, it's great to see you once again. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good to be with you.
A lot of the conjecture over the week. You had a good week. They said Romney had a good week last week, too. But some of your plans in conservative circles are well received. I will tell you one thing that I kept hearing was that 10 years at 5% GDP is undoable. That we've had some spurts in the past with the tech bubble and some other times when it happened. But it's unrealistic. Therefore, to cut a lot of those taxes to the point where you'd want to, if you can't get to 5%, it's not going to be possible to do it.
Well, let me just say a couple of things, Joe. First of all, one of the leading economists in the country, John Taylor from Stanford, looked at this plan and said it is achievable. It's aggressive, it's bold. But look, if we came out of the Reagan recession or the recession from Carter and the Reagan recovery and had 7% and then for a number of years had 5% and did it again under Clinton, I don't agree with the proposition that we're just going to accept anemic growth and we can't have employment growth and productivity growth to equal 5%. Now, is it aggressive? Yes. Is it aspirational? Yes. But the leader of this country needs to have a positive, bold, optimistic goal, and that's what we've set, a growth target. But then number two, it's not like they've done in the past where they both cut taxes and raise spending. We're both cutting taxes and dramatically cutting spending as well, and it more than balances over 10 years.
You don't have any worries that if you had to cut spending to that at that level that it would be hurting economic activity? It'd be tough to do 5% if you're cutting that much.
Well, look, we've got an economy that's trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of rocks on its back. Everywhere I go, the folks who deploy capital, build buildings, add jobs, buy capital equipment, do research, commercialize it, and do all the things it takes to have a private economy grow, not just a government economy grow, say, look, we got no shot unless you get the government off our back as measured by taxes, regulation, litigation, and a number of other things. This plan boldly does that. Is it an absolute bold and courageous and aggressive goal? You bet. But I'm not going to sit here and say America's in decline, we can accept anemic growth, we're just going to be average. I want to set the bar high, and we did it intentionally.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Jack?
Governor Jack Welch, congratulations on your plan, and congratulations on going to Iowa and telling it like it is on ethanol. Now, I have a couple of questions. One is, where are you now on the carbon tax and the cap?
Well, I've said that cap and trade would be a bad idea for the country, Jack. It's a mistake. I looked at it like most of the other leading candidates did some years ago, flirted with it for sure, but I've just admitted my mistake and said I was wrong. It would be harmful to the economy. It's based on flawed science, and we should throw it out the window. What we should be capping is government growth in the economy. We should be trading government activity for private activity. So cap and trade, though, as it relates to carbon emissions, I think is a bad idea, and I've come out strongly against it.
Great.
Tonight, or at the debate, you guys all going to be united against the president, or when do you start going after your own? Are you going to mouth the word Obamacare?
Well, I was asked. I mentioned that yesterday in response to a question on another show. They were trying to highlight. They asked about
clever.
Well, you know, it was in response to a question. The main goal here is to defeat Barack Obama. Look, we got a country that's sinking. All the Republicans are going to say many of the same things. We're all for cutting taxes, reducing spending, market-based instead of government-based health care reform, being tough on terrorism and defense, and down the list. So the real question isn't, can people stand in front of an audience and mouth essentially the same words? The real question is, who's actually done this stuff? Who has the leadership experience of running a large organization in challenging times and getting results? And who has the fortitude to take some hits and keep going? Because the next president's going to have to do some difficult things. And I've actually done that as a governor of a very liberal state, brought it in a common-sense, conservative direction.
I'm trying to figure out what Michelle Bachmann's got against you, too. I saw an interview over the weekend where she'll talk about everything, but then she said, "Why? What do you got against Tim Pawlenty and his record as governor?" And she goes, "I'm not even going to talk about that." But she's got something, Governor. I'm not sure what it is. Do you know what's she unhappy about with your tenure there?
Well, she's running for president as one of my competitors, so I don't think you expect her to say.
So that's what it is.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so it's that simple, huh?
Right.
Yeah, she's. I think that at this point you're both going to stake out that. Are you going to go as far right as she's likely to go in terms of currying favor with the Tea Party?
Well, I can just tell you what I bring forward. I've actually been at this as an executive. I've run a large organization in crisis and moved the needle not in terms of giving speeches or offering amendments, but actually delivering results. And that's not a reference to Michelle Bachmann. It's just one of the strengths I bring to the table compared to most of the rest of the field.
But what about your relationship with the Tea Party? How close are you?
I think I'm the one candidate, Becky, in the race who can authentically appeal to the whole conservative coalition. It consists of economic conservatives, Tea Party conservatives or libertarian conservatives, social conservatives, national defense security conservatives. And if we're going to have a united effort as the first step towards beating Barack Obama, you got to be able to appeal to that whole spectrum. And frankly, most of the rest of the candidates in the Republican field will appeal primarily to one of those categories, but not all 4 or 5. I can and I have.
Governor, we're here in New York. I'm a Republican, hang out with a number of Republicans, and really need you to tell us why Governor Pawlenty over Governor Romney.
Well, each of us brings something different to the table, Jack, and the things that differentiates different candidates are these. One, what's your life story? Nobody's is better or worse than somebody else's, but each is different, and it has a different appeal to the marketplace of American voters. Mine's a blue collar, up from your bootstraps, grew up in a meat-packing town. You know, Mom dies when I'm young. Dad's a truck driver for part of his life. I'm the first one to go to college. And so that connection with people, not just up here, but here at the heart level, through those life stories and shared experiences matter. Number 2, records matter. I think mine's the best in the race. The Cato Institute gave only 4 governors an A grade over the last 2 years, and I'm the only one in the race who got that from the Cato Institute. The other 3 governors who got it aren't running for president. And then lastly, everybody's got a different vision and view of America. And if you look at my ideas that I've laid out, including the tax plan we were discussing earlier, it is the most transformative, change-oriented, pro-growth, pro-jobs, pro-private sector agenda in the field by far.
Did either Christie or Jeb Bush get an A?
Well, this is related to the period of the last 2 years. I don't know if they got an A.
Who else got A's? Who else got A's? Just wondering. They're not running.
Bobby Jindal in Louisiana, Mark Sanford, formerly governor of South Carolina, and the governor of West Virginia.
Governor of West Virginia. All right. Just wondering. So you're the only guy. All right. That's something there. We appreciate it. And we like having you on. We've had you on, I think, about 2 weeks ago, too, Governor. And hopefully, if you become like a big star, after this debate, you remember where you got your start to some extent.
I'll owe it all to the Squawk.
And I showed you that thing back in August of 2009. I'll show it to you in U.S. News and World Report. We'll see whether that.
You were ahead of me.
I was ahead of you. Who were you with back then? I'm trying to think.
No one. I'm a latecomer.
All right, you are. All right, Governor. Thank you. Appreciate your time this morning.
Okay, guys.
Break a leg.
Thanks.
Break a leg.
Good luck tonight.
Yeah, break a leg.
Jack, did he convince you?